Well, good morning and welcome to beautiful Seaforth Beach in central Queensland here on the coast at Mackay. I'm making this video for the Black Dog ride, which I was going to go on today, but circumstances being what they are, wasn't able to do that thanks to the Ducati having no brakes. Alright, well, this is a spiritual video. Right now, many of you who know me will know my story, but I'm hoping that this video will go viral and that we can share it and get it sent around the place, because depression, suicide and everything else like that it's a global epidemic really. In this region, one person knocks himself off every single day. And I've had radio interviews and been to see politicians and all sorts of stuff in connection with the Suicide and Spirituality project that I run here, and I've been told quite openly that they don't like to mention the word suicide because of the ripple effect and all that sort of thing. And I think, well, that's fucking ridiculous, you know. Like, there needs to be a serious effort made to address the subject, because people are knocking themselves off regardless. Right now, just for those of you who don't know, when I was a lad of about 20 odd, I woke up in the hospital after a suicide attempt, failed one. It was a pretty serious attempt, and got the medevac chopper there, so thanks to the boys for that. And after that, I determined to find the source of my depression, of my anxiety, and of all of that disappointment that I had about myself and life and everything like that. But it wasn't until some years later, probably another decade later, after looking everywhere, every religion and temple and every bloody psychology and all sorts of stuff, that my second confrontation with that point of suicide came around, and I finally fell to my knees and prayed to God, not knowing what God was or even if there was really a God. And I was given a response, now believe it or not, and that response led me to this book called A Course in Miracles, which answered every fucking question I have, or had at the time. So just briefly, like this video, it's a spiritual video. It's not going to be for everybody. Some people are quite happy to go to the doctor and get antidepressants and things like that, but there's a growing resistance amongst the community, which I know firsthand because of the work I do in the Suicide and Spirituality project, that people don't want pills. People want to be happy within themselves for no reason. They don't want to be told that there's something wrong with them, and they don't want their ideas and thoughts about their lives to be meaningless and empty and everything like that. So spirituality is a way of finding yourself, right? Finding your place in the world. Crazy dog. Not quite a black dog, he's a brindle dog. But spirituality is a way of finding yourself in the world and finding a purpose for your life. Right now, the reason, and whether you want to believe this or not, but the reason that people get depressed, get anxious and feel empty inside is because, take a look around, nobody knows how they really got here, what they're here to do, where they came from, where they're going, what death is, and all of these questions that remain unanswered within us intrinsically lie at the core of this irritation inside. Right? We assume and we like to believe that our lives have a purpose and that we're part of the greater good. But yet until we find ourselves, until we have that confrontation with our bullshit and realise that, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know why everything keeps collapsing in a heap. And all of these things, right? Until we confront that, until we take that on board as our own responsibility and become responsible for our thinking, then nothing really changes, right? So spirituality, firstly and foremost, teaches that you are responsible for your thinking, right? And gives you a way to change the nature of your thoughts in relationship to the world based on an altruistic view, or a godly view, if you want to call it, right? And I have people say, oh, I don't like that word God, blah, 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 because they associate it with religion. God is what we are. It's got nothing to do with a fucking church, right? If God is everything, which every church and religion will tell you, that includes me, includes you. You know what I mean? So, finding that within ourselves, right? Everyone knows you have to be happy within. But until you can find that, which is what the idea of finding yourself is, until you can find that or know yourself, there's going to be this inner emptiness. Right? Now, the world is a classroom. The world is a place where we learn lessons. And we're learning lessons about ourselves. Right? Everything. Every time I'm depressed, anxious, whatever, is an opportunity for me to stop, breathe, let go of what's going on for me, and recognise that, hang on, there's an opportunity for me to learn something here. It may be that I'm learning patience. It may be that I'm learning not to have expectations about how I think things ought to look for me. It may be that I'm learning not to plan too far in advance and to pin all my hopes on those plans. Right? But moreover, it's going to be that I'm learning to accept myself as I find myself in this moment here and now. This moment here and now is the only moment I truly have. It's the only moment I can say that I'm alive. It's the only moment that I can engage with my environment. It's the only moment I have that I can be happy. Alright, so spirituality is about learning and training yourself to use what's out there in the environment that seems to be causing us depression, to recognise that depression firstly is an idea about myself in my mind that manifests because in this particular moment I'm not accepting, or I better have forgotten that I am one with everything, and whatever's happening in this moment is perfect. Right? If I feel anxiety, if I feel depression, if I feel whatever, it's because I've forgotten who I am. I'm part of a whole. I'm part of God, one with everyone and everything else, all living things. I'm not better or worse than anyone or anything else. And as I accept that in this moment, hang on, stop and breathe, I'm on a journey of the soul. This will pass. This anxiety about that situation will pass, because it's not about that situation. It's about my thoughts about the situation. My thoughts bring me grief. My thoughts bring me things because I've given my thoughts a value. I say this thought's better than that thought. This idea about myself is better than that idea about myself. I'm more worthy of love in this situation than I am in another situation. Right? And I split myself into different camps. How then, if I split myself up like that, can I hope to be at peace, wherein both sides of the coin are equal? Can you hear that? So the Suicide and Spirituality project that I run in Mackay uses A Course in Miracles, which you can buy online for about $25, which has a 365 lesson workbook. One lesson a day for a whole year to retrain your mind. You just do what the lesson tells you to do, whatever it is that day. Right? It retrains your mind to that way of thinking, to an altruistic way of thinking, where I don't see myself as better and worse, or better off or worse off, or a victim or an oppressor. I see myself as a child of God, a child of the universe, on a journey of the soul to discover myself, to discover the truth and the core of my being, which is God. Now, I know that sounds like a mouthful and whatever, but I tell you, from a bloke who was suicidal 20 odd years ago to a bloke now who has grown up through those 20 years, raised a family, has a job in the community, who is happy within himself, it worked for me. It was hard work. I had to choose. It's like, I don't want to kill myself, I don't want to continue to be depressed. I need another way to look at my overall situation that includes me in it in a way where I can be happy for no reason at all. And if you need help with it, inbox me, right? You'll find the link. You'll find my profile somewhere on this post. Inbox me and I'll send you a link and some other stuff, or come and hang out, have a cuppa, you know, and we'll have a chat. So let go of the past. Don't worry about the future. This moment now. Breathe. Whatever's going on for you, breathe through it. It will pass. It's energy. It's emotional angst, energy, whatever you want to call that, based on an unknowing or an unremembering of my place in the whole. And when I breathe and let that go, I'm retraining my mind to stay in the here and the now and to accept my place in the whole, whatever seems to be going on and whatever I think it is that's for me to learn in that, which is always something of the good. Patience, tolerance, forgiveness, generosity, all those sorts of things. Right? This is a spiritual path. I don't need pills. I don't need whatever else, you know, psychology and counselling and everything. I've done it myself. I've found my own inner peace, my own inner core, using the workbook Lessons of A Course in Miracles. All right, now I love you. If you're feeling up, all fucked up, jump online. There's heaps of good stuff. You know, maybe try a guided meditation on YouTube, something. Bring your mind back to a state of peace. Don't listen to those thoughts that tell you what you have to do. You don't have to do that. There is always an alternative. All right? All right, I love you. Take it easy. And all you blokes going on the ride today, enjoy it. And safe trip. See ya.